Thank you and welcome to today's session. We are grateful to have you joining us today. I am Caitlin Giles McCormick here with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Today's session is an informational overview of the CSIT Maternal and Infant Health R&D Grant Program, Round 2. The goal of the program and the eligible applicants are very specific, which the presenters will go into detail about. But if you aren't directly eligible, you can please keep in mind some of your partners that may be eligible, and make sure you check out the many other programs that CSIT and NJADA provide. Now, to get us started with the actual content of the presentation, I will shift things over to Maku Etta, our program manager for CSIT. Maku?
Thank you, Caitlin. Can you hear me clearly?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for this informational session. I'm joined by my colleagues, Francis Keel, Program Officer at CSIT, and Jermaine Parms. He is the Director of Diversity and Business Development at NJADA, who will be kind of speaking a little bit to acquiring your tax clearances and your state certifications. So we'll just be walking through the eligibility and application process for our Round 2 Maternal and Infant Health R&D Grant Program. We'll just provide a brief overview of the program, your submission process, eligibility requirements, the required documents, which are extremely pivotal to completing your application. We'll go over the scoring and bonus points, some few terms and conditions if your company does receive the grant, a few important details, and a very brief timeline. We are still developing the final timeline for the grant, so we'll provide you with a quick overview of our anticipated launch date. So the overall goal for the Maternal and Infant Health Grant Program, this is our second round of this program, is to support innovation from researchers and entrepreneurs focused on developing technology, therapeutics, and other solutions to address maternal and infant health challenges in New Jersey. This is an amazing program. In the first round, we were able to award 17 companies. In this round, we're looking to support up to 20 companies in the areas of life science, technology, and non-retail food and beverage. So if your company is developing technologies within these areas and addressing a variety of maternal and infant health challenges, you're eligible. The grants will be awarded on a competitive basis. We'll walk through the application and kind of review process with awards going to the highest scoring applicants. We'll be offering grants of up to $75,000. The grants will be valid for a 12-month period. The project term is 12 months. You will have additional compliance years onto that grant if you are awarded. And we do also allow a 3-month, no cost extension for awardees that need additional time on the project itself. The overall objective of this grant, again, is to support entrepreneurs that are developing technologies and therapeutics that supports maternal and infant health challenges from the prenatal to 12 months postpartum. We are specifically working to address a very large issue that the state as a whole is working towards, and this seed grant was launched by CSIT in partnership with really EDA and the governor's office to address a variety of maternal and infant challenges. And so while this is not directly supporting direct services, it is an R&D grant. So you must be developing a technology and you must be in the research and development phase of that work. So How can you use the funds? Again, the funds must directly be used for research and development purposes. So anything from purchasing of material, hiring additional staff as well. 30% of the budget can be used for marketing, customer discovery. If you're going after any IP, intellectual property, and conference fees that are related to the project, not general conference fees. You have to be a registered New Jersey company. Unfortunately, this grant does not support nonprofit organizations. Ineligible uses of the expenses include direct counseling. Again, this is mostly our grants are typically just for research and development, clinical services, manufacturing of products for sales or commercial use, real estate expenses, patient clinical trial expenses, and construction costs. Those are ineligible uses of funds for our grant. So this is the overall application process. For those of you that have done this, that have applied to our grants before, the process has not changed. You create a login through the EDA / CSIT portal. You'll be required to complete some eligibility questions, which I'll go over in a moment. You'll ask for your company's information, the primary contact person. Now, this individual is pivotal because they will be receiving any correspondence or questions regarding your application. So please, as you're applying, make sure that you include the correct contact information for this individual and that they are accessible and they are readily checking their emails. Because if they miss an email from us for a deadline, unfortunately, their applications will be denied if you miss specific deadlines. So it's really important that the primary contact person stays on top of the application process and any correspondence that comes from us. The project description is really the technical proposal. We'll be asking questions on the innovation of your technology. We also have a milestone and budget template document that you will fill out and upload back into the portal. The milestones will track the 12 months of quarterly milestone outcomes within your 12-month project term. And then the budget that you will submit to us will be up to just the $75,000 that the grant is allowing for. While you may have a total budget cost, the budget you submit to us should be just up to the $75,000. You will also be asked to complete a few go-to-market strategy questions, as well as providing short bios and information on your team. Now, the team are individuals that will be working directly on your project. This is not everyone within your company necessarily, but specifically the individuals that will be working or that you look to bring on to work on your project. You will be asked for information on company staff, but that information is embedded within the application. You also have a list of required documents. I'll go over that in a moment. These documents are pivotal. If they are missing and we do not receive them within the deadlines we give you, then your application will be rejected. There's also a legal questionnaire within the application that really checks on any past legal issues that the company has faced. Our operations team does a legal review of every applicant as well. And then you will go on and submit the application. So the process for submitting, reviewing, and the approval process has also remained the same. Once you complete the application, which I just went through in the previous slide, once you hit that submit button, the document is received by our team. We go over a review process. And if you are missing any information, you typically receive a resubmission letter from us to submit any of the missing required documents, not the application itself, but any of the required documents that has to go along with the application. And we typically give about 10 business days for companies to submit those missing documents. Now, when it comes to your tax clearance and your state certifications, those two sets of documents will have a separate deadline, which typically extends beyond the 10 days because Jermaine will talk about it in a moment, they tend to take a little bit longer to acquire. But when it comes, you'll receive information as to which documents are due when. Then once we have a complete application, we work with subject matter experts to do reviews of all complete applications. These are individuals within the industry of focus, and they provide qualitative feedback on the applications, but the application itself is scored by CSIT and EDA internal staff. We take all of the recommendations to our board, who ultimately does the final approval of awards and any declinations that we have to make at that time. These are the eligibility requirements for the program. Please make sure you pay close attention to these eligibility requirements because if you don't fall within them, then your application will be rejected. You have to be an authorized and in good standings to conduct business in New Jersey, which means your company has to be registered in New Jersey. You have to be a registered New Jersey-based company. You can be incorporated in another state, but you do have to also be registered in New Jersey. You have to have a current New Jersey tax clearance certificate. We'll go over that. Have no more than 50 full-time equivalent workers at the time of application, but have a minimum of one full-time worker. A founder can be counted as a worker, and this individual can be paid or unpaid. So at least one full-time worker working 35 hours a week or more. 50% of or more of the cumulative work by all of the workers and founders and contractors must be conducted in New Jersey, which means that, at the time of the application, this isn't after you receive the grant, then you're going to hire an individual in New Jersey to do some of the work. This is all at the time of at the time you're submitting the application. Least have less than or equal to $5 million in prior calendar year sales revenue. Applicants must also have achieved a demonstration of at least a proof of concept. We will ask for a proof of concept document, and there are different forms of this document you can submit. And applicants do not have 2 or more active seed or demonstration grants. So if you have 2 or more active seed or demonstration grants, you unfortunately cannot apply for this maternal grant. The required documents that will accompany your application includes a proof of concept, which I talked about earlier. This could be anything from a pitch deck to a peer-reviewed article to an SBIR proposal that you submitted. So we provide examples of the types of proof of concepts that you can submit to us. Employee information. This is employee verification information that accompanies the employees that are listed in your application log. A summary of most recent internal payroll for your company. If you are not taking payroll, you simply send us a letter on company letterhead stating that your company does not have a payroll process at this time. The most recent company tax filings, again, if your company has not yet filed taxes, a letter will be sufficient on company letterhead letting us know that you have yet to file taxes for the most recent year. I'm going to turn it over to Jermaine to talk about the tax clearance certificate and our minority women LGBTQ plus or veteran-owned business state certifications, because we can't stress enough how important it is to start the process of getting these documents done as early as possible. So, Jermaine.
Listen, thank you. And thank you everyone for making a value-based decision to join us. Just want to touch on these items because a lot of times, there isn't clarity on how you go about obtaining these items, and also just what you kind of need to do to get them. And like it was just illustrated, it can take a while. So the thing is to get out and get ahead of trying to get these documents as soon as allowable. That way you at least get in the pipeline to receive the information in enough time to meet the deadline for what you're applying for. So in terms of the tax clearance certificate, you can initiate applying for a tax clearance certificate through the Division of Taxation, the state of New Jersey. The process can vary. So again, we want you to get out and get ahead of that early. My information will be provided because if you run into trouble while you're looking to obtain your tax clearance certificate, can give you some pointers. And also, a lot of times for not just this program, other programs through EDA, we can call upon strategic resources like the Business Action Center to come in and be an additional resource of support for you to make sure that you have the best possible chance of getting to the finish line. So to get in and to get in early, if you're going to apply for something, is the way to go. Remember, you're applying for public funds, and this is part of the process. It's a mandatory part of the process. Now, move on to the certification process. Now, certifications, again, are very important, and we have a serious uptick in certifications as we try to move further into our diversity goals for different programs. A lot of times you will see now, not just on the government side, but on corporate and other places that they will ask you, are you a certified business? Is your business certified? In our case, as a public agency, we're asking that you be certified by the state of New Jersey Department of Treasury. That process is a free process. It can be initiated in an online capacity. It just calls for you to have the basic paperwork regarding your company lined up. Again, I make myself available to have a discussion with anyone that might need some clarity. We want to give you every effort to try to get to the finish line in the most expedient manner. The certification process is a process that can take weeks. So getting your application in, getting it in a timely manner, and making sure, more importantly, that all of the paperwork that are part of the requirements are available and able to be audited, because that's exactly what you're going to be doing by going through this process to be considered minority, women, veteran, service disabled, LGBT plus. For any of those categories that the state may offer for certification, you are going to be going through an audit to get that verification. So just wanted to take this time to drill home, one, the importance of getting this in and getting it early. Two, that you aren't being left out in the wilderness on your own to try to figure these items out. We want to remove as much red tape as possible to help you get to the finish line. So again, I make myself personally available. That's why I get involved in this process. My email will be provided as part of this conversation. And anyone looking to get some clarity or pointers in the right direction can schedule a call with me or a team, Zoom, whatever you want to go about it. And we can discuss it and put you in motion quicker. All right. So know that you got some support, and thank you for your time. Michael.
Thank you so much, Jermaine. We can't stress that enough. For just a little bit of clarity, because I know this question comes up, we, at least for CSIT, we only accept New Jersey state certification. So I know that sometimes companies Right, Jermaine may have certifications from other states, and sometimes they have it from for other departments, but your tax clearance must say CSIT on your tax clearance. And if not, then, we typically send it back to you to say, kind of reprint, re-download this clearance again within the deadline. But for the for the certification, it does have to be a New Jersey state certification that we accept. Also, there is a signed application certification that is within the application that you will download, sign, and re-upload legal department questions within the application. And if you have technology that is licensed with the university, we also accept that license, that signed license agreement. For the minorities, women, LGBTQ plus veteran state certifications and this license agreement, if you have those documents, and your application is eligible for bonus points, you do receive bonus points for these two particular documents. That's why they're if applicable for your application. For a company to be considered for an award, they have to have scored a minimum of at least 70 points in the following kind of criteria areas. And right now we're looking at 5 scoring categories when we're reviewing your application: the strength of the innovation, market opportunity and strategy, your implementation plan, which is again, those milestones that you're setting, and the budget, whether it's feasible. We look at your economic and broader impact. So broader impact, really economic and broader impact, will look at everything from really job growth within your specific job growth within the specific industry area as it relates to the technology you're developing. But broader impact speaks to how are you addressing anything within the kind of more broader socio-economic areas: infrastructure, health, education, safety. Those all fall within our broader impact data. So we'll be asking you to kind of speak to how your technology and how your company is really developing technology that will address broader socioeconomic impacts within our community. And also your team, the makeup of your team, the strength of your team. We look at size, but we more so also look at expertise as it aligns with the expertise that you will need to carry out the project that you're proposing. So making sure you have the right individuals with the right level of experience to carry out the project. We offer bonus points. I mentioned that a few moments ago. There are a few other bonus points that your application can receive. If your company, again, has technology that was developed at a university with a executed license agreement, if you are a women, minority, veteran, also, again, LGBTQ plus, if your business is located within an opportunity zone, or what's considered a government restricted municipality, and if you have never received a CSIT grant or voucher in the past, you are also eligible for bonus points. Now, only applications that receive the minimum score of 70 can then go on to receive these additional bonus points. But again, it's pivotal that you submit those certifications on time, as Jermaine mentioned, to be able to receive these bonus points. Here are some terms and conditions. If awarded, companies also will have to continue to submit economic impact data to us after the end of the project itself for an additional 2 years. We also have, you have to have a commitment to New Jersey. We are a state agency. We are utilizing state funds. So at least 50% of the work of your company must stay in New Jersey for a period of 2 years as well. And so just again, keep in mind it doesn't end at the end of your project. There are other compliance requirements that you must abide by, which will be in your grant agreement. We also have CSIT events that sometimes we encourage some of our companies to participate in, panel discussions and forums of that nature. And we try to do site visits, and this could also be a check-in call as well as an in-person site visit by CSIT staff. But again, all of this will be fully fleshed out in the grant agreement if your company is awarded. We look to open up our portal for the application in early April. We will send a follow-up correspondence to everyone that's joined this call with an exact date. And our applications tend to stay open for approximately 6 weeks. But again, information will be on our website in the next week or two for the program. So you'll be able to review sample applications, the FAQs, and the notice of funding, and a few other supportive documents, even before the launch of the application. If you have any questions, you can send it to CSIT Maternal at njcsit.gov. And we're happy to answer any questions. Any other questions that come out of this informational webinar will also be uploaded to our FAQ document and posted on our webpage in the next 2 weeks. There's an electronic signature at the end of the application that you'll be asked to also provide. Individuals that are unable to provide electronically, you can download the document. This is just to certify your application. I talked about missing documents, but again, we can't stress it enough. The tax clearance and the state certifications will have a separate deadline date. Be very mindful of that deadline date, because again, if we don't receive that information within these deadlines, we unfortunately have to reject the applications. So be very mindful in terms of the emails you receive from us and the deadlines that will be listed on the website. It will be listed on the notice of funding and all of the program documents on our website. Just a few pointers. Start early and review before you submit. Start early with everything, not just the application, but again, with acquiring the tax clearance and your certifications and all of your required documents. All of that information will be on our website before the application even launches. So you can start to collect those required documents. Be detailed and clear when describing your innovation project. These are pretty highly competitive grants. So, be very direct and clear about your technology, how it stands out from other similar technologies in the market. Understand your competitors, understand your target audience, your target clientele, understand the market. Fully answer each question. Try to really think through each of the questions. Do not leave any questions blank, because you will not have the opportunity. Once you submit the application, you will not have the opportunity to add to your responses. Steer clear of kind of jargon. Again, we do have SMEs that are reviewing this, and internal individuals that have all industry knowledge. So feel free to just be very specific with the capabilities of your technology. Just get to the point, really get to directly the point of the question. And then submit your application before 5 p.m. We will, again, we're launching in early April. The end date, roughly about 6 weeks, will land us around early May timeframe. But the application window closes at 5 p.m. typically, and that is 5 p.m. as to the portal system. So do not wait until the last minute, because the portal will close and we don't want you to be in mid-sentence or mid-upload and be shut out of the system. So do not wait till 5 p.m. If you can help it, do not even wait till the last day of the application. Try and get it in before the application due date. So again, you have any opportunity to ask us any questions, any last minute questions, you still have the time to do so. Again, if you have any questions, please send your questions to CSIT Maternal at njcsit.gov. But again, we're happy to answer any questions on this call as well, and it'll be all up shared on the FAQ document. So I'm going to stop there, and I think we have a few questions.
Yes, we have two questions. One,
Okay.
I think you kind of answered. When is the deadline for the application?
Okay, yeah, so we're looking at an early April launch about the first week of April, and then it'll go for about 6 weeks. So we'll probably find ourselves again wrapping it up around the first week of May, but we will provide very specific dates on our website, and we will also send out an announcement prior to the launch of the applications to everyone on this call, and we'll blast it out generally as well.
Another question, are companies that received funding in round 1 of the maternal and infant health program eligible to apply for round 2 to fund new development activities?
So yes, they are eligible. Now, here is the thing for the round 1 individuals. Many of you are probably wrapping up your projects right now. But for those of you that need an extension on your round 1 project, please let me know, because what's going to happen is you need to have submitted a final report to us for your round 1 before you are eligible to apply for this round 2. So if you need an extension, we need to see when your extension will end. And then hopefully it ends before the end of the round 2 application ends. Because you can't have, unfortunately, we're not, you can't, we need that final report to kind of close out that round 1 before you apply for round 2. So yes, you are eligible. But again, if you need an extension, please send me an email so we're aware of that. And we can talk you through when your new end date will be, and hopefully it is prior to that early May timeframe when the round 2 application ends.
Next question, how long does it take to make a decision on the grants?
This grant we're looking to go to the July board for this grant. So, we will have a few weeks of review, we'll have a few weeks of scoring, and completeness reviews and so forth. But we're hopefully bringing our recommendations to our July board. So I would say probably early August, you should hear back from us. I believe we have a July board. It's the end of July, the end of the month. So by early August, you should be hearing back regarding this grant.
Next question, can the funds be used to support a study on acceptability, especially among marginalized populations?
Can the fund be, just repeat that question for me, Francis?
Can the funds be used to support a study on acceptability, especially among marginalized populations? That's a little...
Yeah, we would have to understand a little bit more about how you're defining acceptability. Again, these are research and development grants. So are you developing a technology around that. Is there a technology being associated with that? We would have to sit with you to understand a little bit more about your project, and we're happy to do so. So if you want to send us an email, we can talk offline to get a sense of what that project, where the R&D project would fall within that scope. We can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Would you please speak a bit more about the proof of concept documentation?
Sure. So the proof of concept documentation, we list like for a variety of proof of concepts that you can submit. We don't have templates of what they can look like, but they can either be a research paper that has shown that has data results from kind of early research that you have done. It could be a peer-reviewed article that that has been published in the past. It can be an SBIR proposal that you submitted, or a grant proposal that you've submitted with that speaks to this similar technology. We've also received things like you know IP IP applications, kind of which allows us to kind of read through the narrative of the technology within an IP application. And we've also received like a pitch deck, which clearly describes the technology as well as provides some preliminary data results. So those are just examples of proof of concept. It can't be something scribbled on a piece of paper. It can't be testimonials from clients that have maybe tried out your technology. It's a little bit more, there has to be a little bit more to it than that. But if those 5 examples are just basic examples of what we do accept, and what we'll be able to kind of process and move forward. So again, just showing that you've done a little bit of background research on the technology.
Will this presentation be made available?
Yes, we will. As Caitlin mentioned, it'll be on the EDA site, the CSIT site, as well as the EDA's YouTube channel. Correct, Caitlin? I believe on our.
Next question says, thank you, Maku and Jermaine. Thanks for this informative presentation. Are you able to share the problems or solutions being worked on from round 1 of this grant?
We can. We do have every approved project goes to our board, which means there's a board document which has a description. These are public board meetings, public documents that are accessible. So we can definitely share the projects. And also we did we typically do a press release on all of the companies that are awarded in the projects. So we're happy to share descriptions of previous projects that were awarded.
Can a company that has multiple NIH grants apply for this?
Yes, absolutely. Your federal grants do not affect your eligibility to apply for this grant.
Could funds be used to support user testing? Not sure what that is.
So if you have a prototype that you are trying to, whether it's a hard kind of a hard tech or software that you are looking to test and validate and tweak, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Kind of a smaller demonstration, but again, the research and development piece still has to be clear as to what those activities will be. Are you testing it with a small population, or are you working with a research institution, so forth and so on. So there just has to be a clear R&D activities associated with the budget.
That looks like all the questions that I see in the Q&A.
Okay, perfect. And again, if anyone has follow-up questions, feel free to send us an email. As we respond to those questions, even in the email, they also will be shared in our FAQ document. So our document will be updated as often as we get new questions in that we haven't answered before. So feel free to email any questions that just come up. Again, all of this information will be on the njeda.com/CSIT page. We will create a program page for the maternal and infant health R&D grant program. Where you'll be able to find the slides, the notice of funding. So that program page will be launched in about a week or two, way before the application launches. So again, if you are looking for just, again, more information, just check out our website. For instance, if you don't mind putting the website in the chat for everyone, and Jermaine, if you don't mind putting your email in the chat for everyone it's in there. Oh, okay. Then, again, feel free to email us and follow up with us on anything that you've heard here today.
There was one more question.
Okay.
Does the application portal allow for saving a partial application before submitting?
Yes, your applications are saved before your app, make sure you're saving it as you're going through the application portal. Now, when the application portal closes on the end date at 5 p.m., you're not going to be able to go back in to access your, if you didn't submit your application and you still have a, in progress application, you're not going to be able to continue working on that application and then submit it. You're not even going to be able to access this application to change the application that you did submit. But prior to the portal closing, as you're working on your application, it will be, you can save it as you go along, and your application will be in progress until you hit that submit button. But again, do not wait till the deadline, which, again, will be on the website and everything. Do not wait until the last day and the last minutes of the deadline for any of this, because again, we all know that technology fails at the last minute, or if you're getting a document and you're trying to reach out to a separate, department within the state, they may not be accessible. So we can't stress enough that just do not wait till the last minute for any of this. You do not want to be rejected because of, deadline issues.
And one more. What is the potential role of any partner organizations, such as community-based organizations or other companies? Can these consultants also be sub-awardees?
So they can't be sub-awardees. The company, they can go into, let's be clear, CSIT will fund, we fund registered companies. If a company is working with a community-based organization or nonprofit within the proposed project, they can be included in the budget. It would just have to be clear to how they are aligning with the R&D activities that the company is proposing, and that the budget is supporting. So they absolutely can partner with research institutions, nonprofits, community-based organizations, Absolutely. Especially for this work, it's so important and vital for the, for there to be close connection to the community and the target population. So absolutely. But, again, every activity in the proposal and the budget and the milestones have to be clear and kind of aligning with accelerating the development of the technology and or product that you are developing.
Can a subcontractor performing a portion of the work be a non-New Jersey company?
Yes, they can. Mhm.
And I think that's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Again, all of these questions, we are recording this, so all of these questions and answers will be in the FAQ. So if you missed anything, you can check back in a few weeks to check the FAQ on our program page. Well, I just want to thank everyone on the call for joining. I want to thank Francis and Jermaine and Caitlin for helping to really present on this extremely important grant, which is connected to a much bigger and even more important initiative around maternal and infant health care for the state of New Jersey. So we are here for any questions. We are available. You have our information. Again, please feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts or comments regarding this grant. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thanks, Maku.